What's up, faithful agents? Welcome to another two-day short episode. I am recording this the day after I got home from the conference, which was an incredible 36 hours, however many hours with everyone. And if you were there, thank you. And we are honored for your presence. If you weren't there, be on the lookout for the next one. I promise you, it is life changing. I mean, it really is. For me, for everyone who is there, the power of being in a room with people who are willing to be open, honest, vulnerable about what's really going on in their lives and be healed because of that and get into the depth of community. There's something super special about it, and it's hard to put into words. So I hope that you will join us next time. So today, I'm going to talk about the power of community and share just some thoughts with you, just kind of a reaction again to the conference. But before I do, let me share a bad Christian joke because I've enjoyed using ChatGPT. So let's see what ChatGPT has to say. Why did the computer go to church? Because it had a hard drive and needed to find its backup in the cloud. What? That doesn't even make sense. It's fantastic. ChatGPT doesn't know what a Christian is, which is not that surprising. But, anyways, let me get back to the point. The power of community. We are in a market. We had a man from Canada drive down. We were in Greensboro, North Carolina, which that blows my mind. Honestly, his name's Ian, wonderful man, and he came up to Tyler and I, and he said, one of the things I really appreciate is just being able to be here and the authenticity of everyone who's here because, and here's what he said, because the truth is, we need one another. Being in real estate already feels lonely. And then on top of that, being a believer, you are convinced that you're the only one. So even the power of looking around the room and seeing 100 other Christians in real estate wanting to grow their business and grow their faith and be bold in it is a blessing just to look around. That alone is the encouragement. And so the necessity of us being in relationship with other believers. I mean, so much of my story recently has been the blessing of being in business with my brother Tyler, right? Just having someone who I know and knows me, who loves the Lord, who our families love one another, who we know a ton about each other, who can hold us accountable, hold each other accountable, encourage and pray for one another. There is nothing like it, the necessity of being in that kind of relationship. I've had a lot of relationships with non-believers, of course, and we should, and I love my unbelieving friends. However, I cannot have the depth of relationship with them that I have with my Christian brothers and sisters. And then on top of that, people who know my heart, but then know my work also. There is something incredibly special about that. So get in community. Who around you is a Christian in the real estate space? Go find that person. We need one another, right? Yes, you more than anything need to be part of a local church body. The Faithful Agent is not a local church. We are not a church. Yes, we're part of the global church, right? Every Christian is, but we are not a local body. So first and foremost, you need to go find that if you're not in a good gospel teaching, Bible believing church. Go find that. But then find, maybe it's a local group. The Faithful Agent, go to faithfulagent.com. Check out the local groups section. Maybe there isn't one in your area and you want to start one. Maybe there is one in your area and you want to go join. Get into community because listen, this is where change happens. When we start to get to know one another and the depth of that relationship, and then we start to actually share in vulnerability and honesty what's really going on. Multiple times through the conference, people came up and they just were raw and honest and shared what was going on in their lives. And they received prayer. They brought everyone else to tears. And then those people received prayer. And then we responded in worship together. We responded in having conversation and community with one another. We responded by agreeing to check in on one another consistently to see how everybody's doing, right? Because The world wants to tell us all that matters to determine whether you're doing well or not is, are you selling a ton of homes? Are you selling a ton of homes? Are you selling a ton of homes? As opposed to the reality of, how's your heart? You know, we've talked so many times about the scoreboard idea and this reality that the world has told us that this is the only thing that matters: deals, money, GCI, profit, right? Whatever. And therefore, we've become convinced that we need to be people that say, oh, all is good, all is good. I'm doing fine as long as our business is good. And the only time we're allowed to say, well, things have been tough is if our business isn't going well. Well, as believers, we know that just isn't true, because here's the reality: there are hard things that go on in our life. We are broken, sinful humans. We either brought it on ourselves or we live in a sinful world where the sin and the brokenness around us causes us depth and a deep hurting pain. And we need to tell other people about it. And here's the best part: Christians aren't surprised when you say, I'm hurting, because they get it. That's the whole point. That's why we needed Christ to come, because we are sinners, broken and dead in our sins, and we needed Christ to come make us alive. And so we aren't surprised. I'm not surprised when Tyler says, man, this is hard. He's not surprised when I tell him, bro, I've been struggling with this. Can you pray for me? We're not surprised by that. But here's what the devil wants to do. He wants to tell us you're fine on an island by yourself. You don't need anybody else. Scroll Instagram, have Facebook connections, and you're going to be okay. And guess what? As long as your business keeps selling homes, that's a pain pill that keeps you from feeling what you're really feeling. But that just isn't true in the Christian walk. So, Christian agent, here's the reality that you have. Here's the reality that we all have. I'm afraid that all of us are running so fast in our businesses, running so fast in our lives, running so fast in all of the other things that we're doing, because we're terrified what would happen if we slow down long enough to just hear the voice of the Lord and really feel what we're feeling. And the truth is, brother and sister, that's not okay. It's hard. We want to run. We never want to hear what's going on. We're afraid of what the answer might be. I'm reminded of the story of Elijah. And forgive me, I believe it's in 1 Samuel. Elijah is called out into the wilderness, and he goes 40 days and 40 nights without food, water, and the Lord, in his kindness, sustains him, right, as a precursor to what Christ does. And he asks to see the Lord, right? And the Lord essentially says, I'm paraphrasing, but essentially says, I will allow you to glimpse of my glory, right? So the Lord's glory passed by him, right? The Lord doesn't have a physical body, but his glory passes by him. Well, here's the reaction. The world went crazy, right, when the power of the Lord showed up. And it says the mountains ripped apart. And it says that earthquakes went all over. Earthquakes came. And I'm sorry, I'm misremembering exactly what it says. But then it says fire rained down from the sky, right? All of these crazy things, because the glory of the Lord showed up. And the world was like, whoa, that's way too much for us. This God is way too majestic and powerful for us. But then here's what it says. The mountains rip apart, but the Lord wasn't in those. The earthquake came, but the Lord wasn't in that. The fire rained down from heaven, but the Lord wasn't in that. He was in the calm, quiet voice that came after that, the whisper that came after that. Being in community is what allows us to calm ourselves, be calmed, be encouraged to calm down and stop and listen and hear the voice of the Lord. Chaos is not what we're called into. The Lord is the Lord who orders chaos. We need to be in community with one another so someone can come up to us and say, hey, your heart feels like it's in chaos. How can I help you slow down? We need to be in community so we can go to somebody and say, man, I just am unsettled. There's no calm in my soul right now. I am unsettled. Please help me. Please pray for me. We can go to others and say, I'm really wrestling and struggling with this, whether it's in our life or your business, and I need help. And we can say, hey, let me pray for you, or let me encourage you, or here's some resources, or whatever it is. We need people we can be real with. And I hope you have that. And if you don't, I hope that this Faithful Agent community can be part of that. Post on the Facebook group, hey, I'm in so and so, and I want someone I can be in relationship with that lives near me. Who lives near me? Get part of a local group. Be in community with one another. The devil desires you to not be in unity. The devil desires to keep us apart. Therefore, it's going to be that much harder to get together. But we must fight through and ask the Lord for his courage and boldness to fight through whatever would keep us apart. We must gather together. There is a power and necessity in community. We love you, faithful agents. I don't know why I said we, because Tyler and here. I love you, faithful agents. He loves you too. We desire to be in community with you. I hope that you will reach out and get into community today. I'll see you on Thursday. Hey, faithful agents, as always, thank you so much for joining us again. We hope you will continue to help us build the Faithful Agent community by sharing this episode with your friends, tagging the Faithful Agent group on Facebook, and by actually downloading this episode to help us beat the algorithms and get the good word out to other faithful real estate believers. Go to faithfulagent.com and click join our Facebook community to join us, and we will see you next week.